Pakistan is not being abandoned in a single dramatic exit. It's 1,000 boardroom decisions converging on the same conclusion. The numbers don't add up. From P&G and Shell to Caltex and Eli Lilly, global firms are shutting plants, scaling down, or switching to bare bones distribution. Why now and why so many? Let's break down Ammar Habib Khan's article for EOS magazine. Manufacturing has slowed sharply. More than half the items tracked in Pakistan's large-scale manufacturing index have posted a median 10% annual production drop for 2 straight years. That's not politics, that's economics. And if output is shrinking, who's to blame? The multinationals or the market they're operating in? MNCs reinvent themselves to survive. Empires end, strategies change, retail moves online. Even century-old giants like Hudson's Bay Company endured wars and nation-building, only to be undone by e-commerce and post-pandemic habits. In banking, after the late 2000s crisis, compliance cost and the need for top 5 scale pushed global lenders out of many emerging markets. The principle is consistent: no scale, no returns. And in the 21st century, one factor reshaped scale more than any other. China's rise drove unmatched scale and lower cost. In price-sensitive markets like Pakistan, that's decisive. Many departing MNCs made low-value added basics, diapers, detergents, generic products easy to source elsewhere. As local brands competed on price, the global playbook shifted. Shut manufacturing, keep the brand, import and distribute. Industrial policy did not keep pace. So factories lost the cost race, customers followed price, not pedigree. Behind every strategic pivot is a blunt metric: shareholder return. When German industrial champions faced soaring energy cost after Russian gas dried up, many shifted output to cheaper jurisdictions. Post-Brexit, firms relocated to preserve margins. It's not sentiments, it's arithmetic. In Pakistan, without competitive economics and without endless subsidies, rational companies won't keep loss-making operations alive. So what makes the economics in Pakistan so unforgiving? Pakistan's GDP is about 99% consumption, far higher than 81% for typical lower middle income economies and 72% across South Asia. Investment is persistently low, 12% of GDP versus 32% for South Asia. To climb the middle income status, countries sustain 25 to 30% investment for years. Pakistan does not, which means limited productive capacity, fewer jobs, and recurring currency squeezes as imports outpace exports. Policymakers often pin hopes on foreign portal. The math says otherwise. In most developing economies, domestic investors provide 90% plus of the total investment. FDI is usually 4.12% of the total. Vietnam is a rare outlier near the top of that range. If local investors won't build capacity, foreign money won't lead. Add weak financial inclusion and tax design that pushes savings into real estate, cash and gold, and you get capital bypassing factories for non-productive parking. Even firms that still try to operate formally face a tilted pitch. A compliant FMCG company can face corporate tax up to 40% WWF, WPPF contributions, which is less than 7% of pre-tax profit, dividend tax around 15%, sales tax at 17% on outputs. Added up, an effective tax can exceed 50% of the pre-tax profit, more than the OECD average 25.4%, and even above Colombia's high 34.8%. Meanwhile, smuggled or under-invoiced goods dodge much of this burden, undercutting honest operators on price. Result: a compliant MNC can be cannibalized by its own product sold informally at a tax-free discount. And when households are squeezed, even strong brands struggle. Over roughly 7 years, real incomes have fallen 45.50% and after-tax incomes even more. The poorest households now spend about 65% of their budget on food, up from 47%, with wallets thinner. Firms resort to shrinkflation, smaller packs at the same price, sliding down the value chain. In dollar terms, MNC revenues and profits erode, and shareholders read that as mislocated capital. The grey economy amplifies the pain. Take fuels. As smuggled petrol and diesel surged through the western border, official sales plunged, gasoline down 20.6%, diesel down 37.1% in Sindh. Some stations blend illicit supply with formal pocketing. The tax gap. For MNCs, its market share losses plus reputational risk. Many global retailers never entered at the scale for the same reason. They cannot keep multiple sets of books to survive in a grey market. When the referee steps onto the pitch, things get worse. From medicines to milk price fixing and delayed regulatory approvals distort incentives. In pharma, outputs of tablets, syrup, capsules and injectables flattened or fell, despite rising demand. With controlled prices but rising costs, producers pivot to trading or exit. It's a blueprint for deindustrialization. Put it together and you have an economy where playing by the rules is a competitive disadvantage. If risk-adjusted returns can be earned elsewhere with lower tax, clearer rules, less smuggling, predictable pricing, multinational capital moves, and it should. That's not betrayal, it's how capital markets work. So the question isn't why did they go, it's what would make them stay and build. Tax reset for formality, lower the effective corporate burden including super taxes and para-fiscal levies, rationalize 17% sales tax while broadening the base, and prioritize e-invoicing to level prices against evaders. Crush the grey market. End-to-end digital tracking of fuel and tobacco, seal supply chain, smart customs at borders, meaningful penalties for blending and under-invoicing. Stable rules-based pricing. Replace ad hoc price caps with transparent indexation formulas. Inputs affects energy, especially in pharma and energy, so producers can plan and invest. Savings to industry, not worlds. Incentivize banked savings, penalize idle real estate and untaxed cash. Gold, channel long-term funds to productive capacity. Domestic first, FDI follows. Remove policy flip-flops, reduce sovereign risk, and make domestic investors the first movers. Efficiency-seeking FDI arrives when locals already invest. Scale and logistics. Support export clusters, faster approvals, and reliable energy so firms can hit the scale required for global cost competitiveness. The exodus isn't a mystery, it's a market signal. Fix the incentives, protect the formal economy, and capital will return. Not for a headline, but for returns. That is the only durable invitation that multinational and local firms will accept. You can read Ammar Habib's article linked in the description.